Let me show you a trick on how to get a few more channels on your Behringer X32 by using the USB player that's built into your mixer. And I'm talking about this thing right here. All of us have some sort of playback music that happens when the doors open into our venue. And my suggestion is to use a USB drive and play your background music off of the USB playback that's built into your X32. But the type of file matters. You can't just put any MP3s or any WAV on there. It has to match exactly to what your mixer is set to. On your mixer, press Setup, and then go to your Global tab and double check what sample rate you are set to. Mine is set at 48K. And the next thing that you need is a USB drive that is FAT formatted. My suggestion is anywhere from 4 to 16 gigabytes on that USB drive. Then plug that into your computer. The next thing that we need is some audio files. So download some royalty-free audio tracks or record some or just make your own. And then we need to take those tracks into a DAW. And so here I have these 3 royalty-free tracks. So I'm going to take these and drop these into Reaper. I'm going to go ahead and say sequential time positions on a single track and press OK. Now this is then going to line all of these up together. So I'm going to go ahead and take my first track, place it there. My second track, I'm going to have a little bit of crossfade here. And then my last track, I'm going to place right here. Now, we can also add crossfades. And so right here, I have this track. And if I hover over the right-hand side, I can drag a fader adjustment to have that fade into this track. And so on this track, I'm going to go ahead and drag this fade so it kind of matches the one that's above. And then same thing with this one. I'll have this fade out, and I'll have this one fade in. Once I'm happy with all of these files, I just need to export this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File and then Render. Once that window pops up, we need to find the USB drive in our directory. So I'm going to press Browse, Browse for Directory, and I'm going to go and select my USB drive and press Open. Then I can go ahead and give it a file name. So in this case, background music. The next thing that I need to do is set this sample rate to either 48K or 44.1, depending on what your X32 is set to. Mine is set at 48K, so I'm going to set that as 48K. We want to make sure that this is a stereo file, and we want to make sure that our format is set to a WAV file. The very last thing that we need to do is we need to save the WAV bit depth at 16-bit. By default, it usually pulls up as 24. So once you set that to 16-bit, you can then press Render One File, and at this point, your program will render that file, and then you can close out. We now have this background music WAV file on this USB drive, so let's go ahead and plug it into the X32 and get it playing. I'll take that USB drive, plug it into the X32, press View right here, and then I will then see that we have a background music.wav, in which case I can just go ahead and select that file to start playing, and then we will see playback happening. Then we can navigate to our Aux In layer, and then right here, we will then have our music track. Now, by doing this, it can save you 2 channels of a left and a right for playback. Now, you can just do all of your background music playback off of the USB recorder that's on your X32 and save yourself a couple channels.